Hare Krishna. Welcome to the lockdown program with Krishna under the umbrella of Govardhan Hill. Today we are reading and discussing the most beautiful Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Pandavadas, Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Has Bhagavati arrived safely in Poland?
Yes, everything was correct.
Okay, good. So you all alone?
No, with Krishna and devotees.
Huh?
With Krishna and devotees.
With Krishna and devotees. Hare Krishna. So you get the chance of cooking some nice prasad.
Yes.
Okay. Can we start with some Kirtan? We have quite a few apologies today, but let's see who else is coming. Kirtan.
Kirtan. Who made apologies today?
Apologies we have from Nalini. Her son is going to Zambia and she had to do some shopping and packing and all of that. Ben is sick. What exactly? I don't know. Amit has some prior engagements and Varshana will join in a while. And Pandava Prabhu is here.
Yes,
and I am here.
I'm also feel kind of sick. I don't know what's going on.
What is going on?
I'm okay, and then I feel like I'm getting fever.
Oh no!
But I'm sure not COVID. So
okay. Well, it's a big weather change because it is getting warmer now, so maybe that causes some problem. Okay, let's see. Samir, I hope so. He will come, and Prakash and Dharma. Here we go. Hare Krishna. Welcome, Dharma. Kirtan.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you very well.
Okay. This is a new tune I'm trying to learn, so forgive me if I will make some mistakes. But it's very sweet.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Beautiful tune. Beautiful tune. Yes, yes. Very nice.
More, but I need to practice more.
Okay, so first part, I'm somewhere familiar with. The second part, that seems to be more difficult. But the first part, I have heard that before. I'm sure I have.
Yeah, I will maybe post the link to this bhajan, so maybe you can, and other devotees can also learn, sing or hear. Okay,
great. Thank you very much. Okay, welcome, Pandava, Das, Prabhu, Dharm, and Samir. And we have apologies from Nalini. The devotees are so committed. They give apologies, so everyone knows. It's not just if I come, I come. If I don't, I don't. So there is commitment there, and that needs to be appreciated. So Nalini texted me earlier on. Her son is going to Zambia, and she has to do some shopping and make arrangements and help him packing and so on. Our Ben Prabhu is sick. I don't know what or how or what, a very short message. So maybe his disc He has some problems with his disc. He slipped. I hope he is feeling better soon. Amit, he apologizes and sends wishes to everyone. Hare Krishna, I'm back now. I had some problems with the internet for a change. Okay. It is back, the internet. Welcome back, internet. So I just explained that Amit has prior engagement. Varshana will join in a while. Okay, this is as an apology. So again, Pandava, Prabhu, welcome down, welcome Samir. Hope the internet stays somewhere stable. Okay, I have a little bit of nectar. I hope you're all well. Nectar from Teachings of Queen Kunti, chapter 3. It was on Facebook and I copied it because it was just so nice. And it is so befitting because we're reading the prayers of Queen Kunti, chapter 8 of the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Okay, quote. If one takes to Krishna consciousness in the beginning, there will be many disturbances caused by Maya, the material energy of illusion. Maya will test us to see how firmly we are fixed in Krishna consciousness. Because she is also an agent of Krishna, she does not allow anyone the freedom to disturb Krishna. That is a very, very wonderful, nice sentence. She does not allow anyone the freedom to disturb Krishna. We don't usually look at it like this. We're just thinking, okay, that is Maya, that affects us. But no, Krishna, she keeps us away that we don't disturb Krishna with our material desires. So it is a completely different angle. And we always say, yes, we have the freedom, a little independence to surrender to Krishna or not. But here, she does not allow anyone the freedom to disturb Krishna. Therefore, she tests very rigidly to see whether we have taken to Krishna consciousness to disturb Krishna or are actually serious. That's an amazing statement. Whether we have taken to Krishna consciousness to disturb Krishna. Of course, we don't want to disturb Krishna, but if we coming with so many material desires, of course, we have pointed out many times before, if you're full of material desires, you are without material desires, or you want liberation, you should contact Krishna consciousness, of course. But here, therefore, she tests very rigidly to see whether we have taken to Krishna consciousness to disturb Krishna or are actually serious. That is Maya's business. So in the beginning, there will be tests by Maya, and we shall feel so many disturbances while making progress in Krishna consciousness. But if we follow the rules and regulations and chant regularly as prescribed, then we shall remain steady. If we neglect these principles, Maya will capture us immediately. Maya is always ready. We are in the ocean, and at any moment we may be disturbed. Therefore, one who is not disturbed at all is called a Paramahamsa. Hare Krishna. I thought that was a very nice quote. We don't look from that angle at Maya, that she keeps us away, that we don't disturb Krishna in his transcendental pastimes. And of course, we know no one will be allowed entry into the spiritual world if he is not thoroughly purified because he will just create disturbances there and disturb everyone, Krishna and everyone else. Okay, Hare Krishna, that was a little bit of nectar for tonight. Let's go to our Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. What we having tonight, we have 1821, and it goes in the chat in just a second. 1821. It is in the chat. It's a beautiful verse. And let's have first the Sanskrit, and then I want to say something. Who wants to take on that famous verse? Volunteers. What about you, Samir? By the way, Samir, in Leicester, it is quite warm at the moment. Hare Krishna, I am back. There are problems tonight. The second time I have been thrown out. Okay. Samir, text 21. It's in the chat. Are you ready to take that on?
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Nrisimha Pranama to everyone. I don't know if you can hear me clearly. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Say something.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Devotees. You can hear me okay, yeah?
Yes, a bit of artifacts in, but let's see how it goes.
Okay, so it's 1:8:21. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna ye Vasudevaya.
No. Krishna ye, no. Krishna ya.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandana cha
Nandan Devaki Nandanaya cha.
Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govinda Namo Namah. Translation and the purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudeva, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda, and the other cowherd men of Vrindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. Purport. The Lord, being thus unapproachable by any material assets, out of the unbounded and causeless mercy descends to the earth as He is in order to show mercy upon His unalloyed devotees, and to diminish the upsurges of demonic persons. Queen Kunti specifically adores the incarnation or descent of Lord Krishna above all other incarnations, because in this particular incarnation, He is more approachable. In the Rama incarnation, He remained a king's son from his very childhood. But in the incarnation of Krishna, although He was the son of a king, He at once left the shelter of His real father and mother, King Vasudeva and Queen Devaki, just after His appearance, and went to the lap of Yashoda Maya to play the part of an ordinary coward boy in the blessed Vraj Bhumi, which is very sanctified because of His childhood pastimes. Therefore, Lord Krishna is more merciful than Lord Rama. He was undoubtedly very kind to Kunti's brother Vasudeva and the family. Had he not become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, Queen Kunti could not claim him to be her nephew, and thus after Krishna in parental affection. But Nanda and Yashoda are more fortunate because they could relish the Lord's childhood pastimes, which are more attractive than all other pastimes. There is no parallel to his childhood pastimes as exhibited at Braj Bhumi, which are replicas of the eternal affairs in the original Krishna Lok, described as Chintamanidham. In the Brahma Samhita, Lord Shri Krishna descended himself at Braj Bhumi with all his transcendental entourage and paraphernalia. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confirmed that no one is as fortunate as the residents of Braj Bhumi, and specifically the cowherd girls who dedicated their everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. His pastimes with Nanda and Yashoda, and his pastimes with the cowherd men, and especially with the cowherd boys and the cows, have caused him to be known as Govinda. Lord Krishna as Govinda is more inclined to the Brahmanas and the cows, indicating thereby that human prosperity depends more on these two items, namely Brahmanical culture and cow protection. Lord Krishna is never satisfied where these are lacking.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Samir. If you would have to pick a point, there are quite a few points. If you would have to pick a point which appeals to yourself, what would you pick? Which point would you pick?
I do like the point where obviously Lord Krishna is the cowherd boy. That I like a lot. But there's some wonderful points here, really nice ones. But yeah,
Okay.
If I had to pick one, then I would say Krishna as the cowherd boy. Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, how significant it is?
You know, as it says here, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mataji, they were very fortunate because they could relish and of course, Krishna's going out with the cows and so hello, Prabhu. Are you still there?
Okay, I'm back. There is a lot of trouble with the internet today. Somehow. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, I was just saying that Krishna loves the cows, and Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mataji are very fortunate to see the pastimes of Krishna as a cowherd man, cowherd boy, and also it says, towards the end that we should be inclined to the Brahmanas and the cows. So human prosperity depends on these two items.
Cow protection and Brahminical culture, right.
Yeah.
That reminds me, quite some time back, I have posted this lecture and Kirtan of Srila Prabhupada in 1976 in New Mayapur. And I remember there Srila Prabhupada spoke, and I listened to that class again and again. He really, because it was a farm community, he really made that point. Cow protection and Brahminical culture. These two things he really wanted established. And that is very important. And of course, here we hear that Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj are very fortunate, more fortunate in a sense than Vasudeva and Devaki. Also, these are the real parents of the Lord, but Vasudeva and Devaki never got to witness the childhood pastimes. And Srila Prabhupada explains these childhood pastimes are the most attractive pastimes, Krishna's pastimes. So Nanda and Yashoda and the gopis and the cowherd men and the cowherd boys, they have really witnessed all the various childhood pastimes of the Lord, not just killing the demons, there are many, many more childhood pastimes. So I found particularly interesting how Srila Prabhupada made that point. Krishna is more merciful than Lord Ram, because Lord Ram was the king from his very childhood on her. So king means reverential, respect, and so on. So although Krishna was born a Kshatriya, so to speak, a prince of King Vasudeva and Queen Devaki, but as soon as he was born, he was taken to Golok. So he never played out that part of kingly son, but he immediately took on that part of a simple cowherd boy in the cowherd community of Nandagram and of Nanda Maharaj and the residents of Raja Bhumi. So intimate, this intimate mood is there. That intimate mood, it cannot be found in Ayodhya Dham or in Vaikuntha or anywhere else. Anyone has any other point to highlight? Now I would ask, where does that Sanskrit verse looks familiar to anyone? Panda, what about you? Does that Sanskrit shloka look familiar to you? You have heard that shloka before? Or Samir, or Dham?
Yes, it's very rhythmical.
Extremely rhythmical. Who sings it? Someone is singing it. Okay, welcome back. Oh my God, today it's just going really bad. Who sings it? That verse. And the next.
Kunti Devi.
Yes, originally, but there is a nice rendition. Nice rendition. By who? You must have heard it. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopal Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Karnamrita. Do you know Karnamrita? Prayers by women. Dasi. The CD is called Dasi. Karnamrita, prayers by women. There's a lot of prayers by women. Devaki prayers, Kunti prayers, and so on. A very nice rendition. I'll post it here in the chat. Let's listen to that for a second. 3 verses, just 3 verses. Let's go to the chat and click on the link. And when you finish, the 3rd verse, which is the same as the first one, raise your hand and say we stop. Ready to click the link? Okay, here we go.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajanabhaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha
Welcome, Rashmi. Are we all finished listening to that? Samir, Pandava, Dharm?
Yes.
Okay, because there was no answer. So, do you remember that recording?
In my case, I haven't heard that yet.
It's
But
old.
Sounds like she's just singing those selected verses
Yes.
from Queen Kunti prayers.
Yes, she does. In a very nice way. Many years old. Karnamrita. Very famous CD. Okay. Let's move ahead. Rashmi, we are on text 22 of the 8th chapter of the first canto. Oh, my internet connection is unstable, it says here. I have been twice booted out, so don't be surprised. If I'm out, I will come back in as soon as I can. So, Rashmi, you want to take on text 22? These are beautiful prayers by Queen Kunti.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Text 22, right?
Right?
Yeah. Nama Pankaj. Yeah. Nama Pankajanabhya. Nama Pankaja Malin. Nama Pankaja Netraya. Namaste Pankajangre. Translation. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. Purport. Here are some of the specific symbolic marks on the spiritual body of the personality of Godhead, which distinguish his body from the bodies of all others. They are all special features of the body of the Lord. The Lord may appear as one of us, but he's always distinct by specific bodily features. Srimati Kunti claims herself unfit to see the Lord because of her being a woman. This is claimed because women, Shudras, or the laborer class, and the Dvija Bandhus, or the wretched descendants of the higher three classes, are unfit by intelligence to understand transcendental subject matter concerning the spiritual name, fame, attributes, forms, etc. of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Such persons, although they are unfit to enter into the spiritual affairs of the Lord, can see him as the Archa Vigraha, who descends on the material world just to distribute favors to the fallen souls, including the above mentioned women, Shudras, and Dvija Bandhus. Because such fallen souls cannot see anything beyond matter, the Lord condescends to enter into each and every one of the innumerable universes as the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who grows a lotus stem from the lotus-like depression in the center of his transcendental abdomen, and thus Brahma, the first living being in the universe, is born. Therefore, the Lord is known as Pankajanabhi. The Pankajanabhi Lord accepts the Archa Vigraha, his transcendental form, in different elements, namely a form within the mind. The Pankajanabhi Lord accepts the Archa Vigraha in different elements, namely a form within the mind, a form made of wood, a form made of earth, a form made of metal, a form made of jewel, a form made of paint, a form drawn on sand, etc. All such forms of the Lord are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, and there should be a soothing atmosphere in the temple of worship to attract the burning attention of the non-devotees always engaged in material wranglings. The meditators worship a form within the mind. Therefore, the Lord is merciful even to the women, Shudras, and Dvija Bandhus, provided they agree to visit the temple of worship in different forms made for them. Such temple visitors are not idolaters, as alleged by some men with a poor fund of knowledge. All the great acharyas establish such temples of worship in all places just to favor the less intelligent, and one should not pose himself as transcending the stage of temple worship, whilst one is actually in the category of the Shudras and the women or less. One should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet, gradually rising to the thighs, waist, chest, and face. One should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Srimati Kunti, because of her being the aunt of the Lord, did not begin to see the Lord from the lotus feet, because the Lord might feel ashamed. And thus Kunti Devi, just to save a painful situation for the Lord, began to see the Lord just above his lotus feet, that is, from the waist of the Lord, gradually rising to the face and then down to the lotus feet. In the round, everything there is in order.
Hare Krishna, very interesting purport indeed. If you would pick out some point, what would that be?
In the translation, Krishna, the Lord, an analogy is made to a lotus flower. The beauty of a lotus flower is compared to, the Lord is compared to the beauty of the lotus flower.
And if
that is from the translation.
And the purport?
In the purport, the importance of visiting the temple for all classes of men, whatever class they may belong to, whatever they may be, absolutely lowly Shudras, or they may be less intelligent, or they may be Brahmanas or Vaishnavas. The importance of visiting the temple and worshipping and deity worship is mentioned here.
Okay, question. Why, in the translation, Krishna, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower? That is one of his marks. Why you think that is there? That mark of a depression like a lotus flower?
Because the lotus Garbhodakshai Vishnu comes from there. not sorry, Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Garbhodakshay Vishnu, from his umbilicus, the stem, lotus stem grows.
Okay, nice. Because that came to my mind also. I have never thought of that ever before. Huh? But now you picking up on that point, so I guess we must be onto something. That is a connection between the Lord's abdomen being marked like a lotus flower, and the lotus is actually sprouting from his abdomen, from his navel, and Lord Brahma is born. Very interesting point. I've never ever come across that. What else is in the purport? Yes, the deity worship is. What about Kunti? Can you explain why we are directed to look at the lotus feet of the Lord first, and then up gradually. But Kunti, not. How come?
In the last part, Prabhupada has explained why not. Because she only started from his waist and not from his feet, because in position she was elder to him. She was his aunt. So generally, somebody younger than you by age, by position, pays obeisances to you. So he touches your feet. That's culture. That's etiquette. So, but because she is elder to him in both position, both age and position, she's his aunt. Had she started from there, worshipping him from there, then maybe the Lord would have been embarrassed by that. To save him of that embarrassment, she is starting from the waist.
Very nice. So many intricacies, so many fine points, which just by a casual reading one would not even get that. Yes, this is the culture. And how much Kunti cared for Krishna. Not for herself, for Krishna, that he wouldn't feel embarrassed. So that is entirely just thinking of Krishna and nothing else. Beautiful. Anyone has any question or comment? Pandava, Samir, Dan, questions or comments?
If you don't mind, I have a little comment.
Yes, go ahead, Pandava.
In the purport, Srila Prabhupada listed different forms of the Lord, beginning from mind, earth, metal, even sand, and I believe this is from Uddhava Gita, where Lord Krishna himself explains that subject to Uddhava, giving details about worshipping his deity. And so it's in Uddhava Gita, all the more details, how to approach the deity, how to. The most kind of amazing for me was that there's a description also there here mentioned, the last on the list, deity on the sand, which means that somebody can worship Krishna in a way that is not so common. Just to draw, of course, there are some mantras included and purification before. Someone can make a mark of the Krishna's deity on the sand, then offer different items and prayers and so on. And after that drawing has to be also cleared. so it doesn't stay. Anyway, that's just only a little.
Thank you. There is a nice story. I told it before, and it is elaborately told by Radhanath Swami, where I heard it from first, and you can find it on the internet as well. It's the story of Ghanshyam Baba. It was an Indian family that traveled to Vrindavan, and the young boy was so much. Couldn't have been that young, youthful boy, I would think so. He was so much captured by Vrindavan and the mood of Vrindavan. And when the family wanted to go back to America, he said, I want to stay here. And they said, oh, you cannot stay here, come back. And they're trying to persuade him, but he was adamant. I want to stay here. So they eventually came to the conclusion, okay, you stay here and you stay a little bit longer, and then you come in a couple of weeks. So they went alone back to America, and he stayed. And after a couple of weeks, he stayed, and he stayed, and he stayed, and they tried to get him back, and he stayed and became completely absorbed. So he, as you just mentioned, the deity drawn in center, he had nothing. He had absolutely no possessions, and just a blanket. And at the beginning, he didn't even have any place where he could sleep at night. So he was regularly drawing on the sand, sitting down and writing Krishna's name. Or was it Radha's name? I don't remember. In the sand. So he must have, I would think so, that he did that in Devanagari. He must have had some knowledge of Devanagari. Or perhaps it wasn't Devanagari, but I would assume. And then he meditated and he chanted his rounds. And in front of him, Krishna's name in the center. And as you so nicely said, Pandava, when the sun was about to set, he cleared the sand and said nobody will step on Krishna, because Krishna's name and Krishna is not different. And the deity can be drawn in sand. So that's what he did every day. Until one day, he did that again, sit down, and when he drew Krishna's name into the sand, same spot, he felt something hard obstructing his finger to draw. And there was something, and it was something shining, and he looked and he cleared the place, and there was a beautiful deity of Krishna in the sand, exactly on the spot, self-manifested deity of Krishna. So he took that deity and he worshipped that deity. And eventually he got a little space in the corridor of a family where he had some closet, and there he kept the deity and he worshipped the deity, and long story, and it goes on, and so many pastimes in this regard. So just to highlight the point which Pandava Prabhu mentioned, and which I mentioned here in the purport, a deity can be made of sand. Question, does anyone know a deity made of jewel? Okay, Samir, you want to say something?
You broke up there in between. So I don't know if it was just me or everyone. But we got to the part where you were saying that somebody gave him some space to stay in the corridor.
Yes, of their house, where he lived, just with his blanket and his Krishna deity.
After that, it was good.
Also, story goes actually on.
What happened after that then?
After that, then Radhanath Swami visited him one day, and because he was then old. He just lived in Vrindavan. He never left Vrindavan. He was so attracted to Vrindavan. He was old. And he always, every morning, he got water from the Jamuna and to bathe his deity. So Radhanath Swami once offered, let me get some water. You are getting old and let me get some water for you. And he protested and he cried and said, that's my only service for Krishna. Don't take my service away. So Radhanath Swami never asked him again. And when he offered to Maharaj some prasadam, some chapatis, and Maharaj ate until he found out, said actually Ghanshyam, he begged chapatis from the local and he gave them to Radhanath Swami. He said, you're my guest, Krishna sent you here, you're my guest. And there were no chapatis left for him. He gave everything to his guest, Radhanath Swami. So when Maharaj set out, he was never again accepting prasadam at his house. And once he stayed, it was late, and they talked and they chanted, and it was late, and Ghanshyam Baba, he said, stay here tonight. And okay, Radhanath Swami, and it was Kartik, late, cold at night, very cold. In Kartik, it gets very cold at night. Only in the day when the sun comes out, that is nice. But at night and early morning, very cold. So they lay down and he gave Radhanath Swami a blanket. And then Radhanath Swami said, yeah, but you don't have a blanket. I'm all right. And so there was forth and back, and he gave it back to him, and he gave it to Radhanath Swami, and eventually Radhanath Swami accepted the blanket, but he gave it back to Ghanshyam Baba, and that was it then, and then they fell asleep. At night, Radhanath Swami woke up, and the blanket was on him again. And Ghanshyam Baba, he was just shivering in the cold, and so just a selfless person who was convinced, Krishna sent you here, I must serve you 100%. So eventually, later on, a temple was established with the deity, and service was established, and then Ghanshyam Baba had nothing more to do, and he left his body. You find the story on the internet. It's worthwhile reading with all the details. It is absolutely beautiful. That is pure Vaishnava. Okay, that is a deity in the sand. Wood, we know Jagannath, made from earth. Clay, yes, metal, jewel. Anybody knows a deity made from jewel? I cannot recall, but there must be a deity made of jewel. Anyone? Okay. Any more comments or question, or shall we move on to text 23? Pandava, what about you? You want to take on text 23?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. The microphone is yours.
Yadha Hrishikesha Kalena Devaki Kamsena Rudhati Chiram Sucharpita Vimochitaham Cha Sahatmaja Vibho Tvayaiva Natana Muhur Vipatkanat. Translation. O Hrishikesh, Master of the senses and Lord of the Lords, you have released your mother Devaki, who was long imprisoned and distressed by the envious king Kamsa, and me and my Devaki, the mother of Krishna and sister of King Kamsa, was put into prison along with her husband Vasudeva, because of the envious king was afraid of being killed by Devaki. killed all the sons of Devaki who were born before Krishna, but Krishna escaped the danger of child slaughter because he was transferred to the house of Nanda Maharaj. Lord Krishna's foster Kunti Devi, along with her children, was also saved from a series of dangers, but Kunti Devi was shown far more favor because Lord Krishna did not save the other children of Devaki, whereas he saved the children of Kunti Devi. This was done because Devaki's husband, Vasudev, was living, whereas Kunti Devi was a widow, and there was none to help her except Krishna. The conclusion is that Krishna endows more favor to a devotee who is in greater dangers. Sometimes he puts his pure devotees in such danger because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attached to the Lord. The more the attachment is there for the Lord, the more success is there for devotee.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Pandava Prabhu. Can you say a little bit about that text?
So it's a very beautiful comparison from the eyes of Kunti Devi as a mother, I believe. She or each mother must be very very protective to her children. So she sees here how Krishna saved Devaki and also her child and Krishna and then her sons. So Prabhupada in this purport says that although Devaki's sons were killed by Kamsa, Pandavas were saved just because Kunti was a widow, so she didn't have any other protection, which is very, very unusual that Krishna is giving favor sometimes not to those who are supposed to be close. That's very unusual. So, and here at the end, Srila Prabhupada gives that outline to that devotees sometimes experience so much pain, and that helps them to focus even more on Krishna. And that's the success of the devotee. So, of course, depending on someone's level of devotion, we never get the test that is too hard for us, but we should embrace any difficulties as Krishna's mercy. And that's also is related. Krishna confirmed that in a discussion with Maharaj Yudhishthira. It's in Krishna book at the end, where Maharaj Yudhishthira asked, so why devotees of Lord Shiva are so prosperous and your devotees seem to be very poor? And Krishna's response was that if I favor somebody, then I take everything from him. So my devotee feeling having nothing really to be attached to, eventually he will attach only to me. And that's the real blessings of Krishna, there's another saying that if Krishna likes somebody, he gives that person opulence or some pleasures. Of course, it's not just like a curse, but there's nothing wrong, because there are so many other devotees who are very advanced and rich, and they know how to use their opulences in the service of the Lord. But in advance, devotees often if they get some opulence, there's a risk that they will leave Krishna consciousness, or their devotion will kind of slow down. So if Krishna likes somebody, he may give somebody the pleasures or wealth, but if he loves somebody, he will take away everything from that devotee.
Oh, thank you. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
But if we mature enough to accept this challenge?
The question is, do you want Krishna to like you or love you? That is a question for everyone. I'm sure there are plenty of, generally, yes, within the community, within the Indian community, Krishna has set reputation somewhere, and people are quite hesitant to worship Krishna because they know he may take everything away from me. Everything away, that everything means things which stand between us and Krishna. Obstacles, material obstacles. But if we're not mature enough, we don't see it like that. We're just seeing, oh, Krishna, take something away from me. We have problems with the internet tonight. It's not just me who have been booted out 3 times. Dharma has gone once. Pandava is now booted out. Yes, these are very deep topics. And what an interesting comparison. When Prahlad, we just recently at Nrisimha Pranama, we spoke about it. When Prahlad got blessings from Lord Nrisimhadev, he rejected those blessings. He said, "Oh no, my Lord, don't give me those blessings. I'm born in a family of asuras. I have tendency for material enjoyment and." Of course, Prahlad was pure. He didn't have this. Certainly not after Lord Nrisimhadev put his hand on his head. So, but then the Lord ordered him to become the king of the asuras, of the demons, and to enjoy the kingdom up till the end of Manu's reign. So here, Krishna basically says, okay, you enjoy your material opulence, but always keep me in mind. And to someone else, he may just take everything away. So what a contrast. Oh, Kunti, to Kunti, she had nothing but Krishna. No husband, no nothing. So therefore Krishna favored Kunti more than Devaki. Now question, Rashmi, probably you can answer that. Who were the 7 sons of Vasudeva and Devaki? Because we just spoke about they were not saved by Krishna, but Kunti, Krishna personally immediately came because she had no other shelter. So who were the sons? Samir, you might also know.
I don't know, Prabhuji.
Why there had been, who knows?
They were cursed. They were cursed, and that's why Kans killed them, because they had a curse on them, and they. I'm just trying to remember that. But the reason why they were killed was because
Your internet is a bit funny right
I
now.
think the father cursed them. The father cursed them, and then just remind me. The father cursed them, and then can you hear me?
Yes, kind of.
People?
Yes. Carry on. They got cursed.
Yeah, I was saying that the father in the previous life got
Yeah.
cursed, yeah, and it was actually Kunti who was their father in the previous life.
You breaking up. I cannot follow.
In the previous life, Kunti was the father, and then he said, I think they disobeyed him or something.
Yes, I don't recall the backstory.
Cursed them. And that's why he killed them there.
Okay, Dharm, do you know the entire backstory of these 7 children?
Hare Krishna, not exactly, no.
No, I only know the backstory of the children of Ganga. That were the Vasus, but that is a different story. Okay, maybe we can find out exactly a little bit more about that. Are there any questions, or shall we move on to text 24? Dharm, it's your turn.
Yes,
Samir?
I'll find out.
Yes, you researched that.
Because I was reading it just the other day, but I can't remember now. So
Okay, find out for next time, but don't read, just from your memory, just basically who wears it and what happened to them, why they were cursed, and who cursed them. That will be sufficient. Okay, thank you, Samir. You researched that. Dharm, you want to take on text 24? Dharm, can you read as fluent as in your Prahlad recording? Not with such emotions you don't have to read, because this was beautiful emotion. There is some potential, and we're going to come back to you. We will do more drama. And there is really something there. You have practiced that. You had a very short part, so you could practice that. That was not just a once reading. That was practiced. Am I right?
Hare Krishna.
Am I right? That was practiced, the Prahlad, your Prahlad role. Can you hear me, Dan? Hare Krishna. Your internet connection is unstable, okay. Dharm, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming in and out. So
what about now? My question is, was your Prahlad reading practiced a few times?
No, the second one wasn't. We'll have to redo it. I just did it lunch break.
Okay, it was very nice.
It was quite short anyway, so I could,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, my question now, can you read text 24 in a fluent way?
Right, okay.
And the Sanskrit, take it slow, but get it right.
Okay. 24. Vishan Mahagne Purashada Dashanat Asat Sabaya Vana Vasa Uchrata Murte Naka Maharatha Srato Droni Astras Kashma Hari
Astratash. Traunyastratash.
drawn ash ratash. Kashma Hari.
Not chasma.
Oh, chashma.
Chasma.
Yes, chasma. Yeah. Cha. Yes, it's cha. So chasma. Hari Vihirkshita. Translation. My dear Krishna, your Lordship has protected us from a poison cake, from a great fire, from cannibals, from a vicious assembly, from suffering during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Ashwatthama, taught by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The list of dangerous encounters is submitted herein. Devaki was once put into difficulty by her envious brother, of why she was well. Kunti Devi and her sons were put into one difficulty after another for years and years together. They were put into trouble by Duryodhana and his party due to the kingdom, and each and every time the sons of Kunti were saved by the Lord. Once Bhima administered poison in the cake, and once they were put into the house made of shellac and set afire, and once Draupadi was dragged out and attempts were made to insult her by stripping her naked in the vicious assembly of the Kurus. The Lord saved Draupadi by supplying an immeasurable length of cloth, and Duryodhana parties failed to see her naked. Similarly, when they were exiled in the forest, Bhima had to fight with the man-eater demon Hibima Rakasha, but the Lord saved him, so it was not finished there. After all the tribulations, there was a great battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna was to meet such great generals as Drona, Bhishma, and Karna, all powerful fighters. And at last, even when everything was done away with, there was the Brahmastra released by the son of Dronacharya to kill the child within the womb of Uttara. And so the Lord saved the only surviving descendant of the Kurus, Maharaja Parikshit.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Dham. It is Rakshasa. Rakshasa. That is. Any questions? Anyone to this verse or purport? Of course, we know these verses remind us, like the early verses was Karnamrita singing prayers by woman Dasi. And we all were listening to that. Now, it also reminds us these prayers of prayers. There is a CD, Prayers by Queen Kunti, which we did a long time ago, of the very same verses, just slightly different. So, any questions, any points? Welcome, Vashana Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anything to this text? Again, the focus is how much difficulties Kunti and the Pandavas had to endure. Incredible difficulties, one after another, for years and years and years. That reminds us of, at the beginning we read that text, also from Queen Kunti's prayers from the purport, but Srila Prabhupada is saying very interestingly, for those who haven't been there at the beginning, said Maya testing the devotees. That we know. Krishna is testing, Maya is testing also, because she doesn't want Krishna to be disturbed by us. Right? I'll read that again because it was just so very nice. If one takes to Krishna consciousness, in the beginning there will be many disturbances caused by Maya, the material energy of illusion. Maya will test us to see how firmly we are fixed in Krishna consciousness, because she is also an agent of Krishna. She does not allow anyone the freedom to disturb Krishna. Therefore, she tests very rigidly to see whether we have taken to Krishna consciousness to disturb Krishna or actually serious. That is Maya's business. So, in the beginning, there will be tests by Maya, and we shall feel so many disturbances while making progress in Krishna consciousness. That's important. While making progress, we may think we may not progress, but we will make progress. But if we follow the rules and regulations and chant regularly as prescribed, then we shall remain steady. If we neglect these principles, Maya will capture us immediately. Maya is always ready. We are in the ocean, and at any moment we may be disturbed. Therefore, one who is not disturbed at all is called a Paramahamsa. So the same point here, that Maya is there that to keep us, that we don't disturb Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments to that verse? If not, we move on to text 25. And Vaishana Mataji. We all had a go on the previous verses. Do you want to take on text 25?
I'll have to see. Is it in the chat area?
I can put it. Here we go. Yeah, it's in the chat.
Yes, it's there. Just Hare Krishna, everyone. Right. Vipadaha santuta shashvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yat sayad apunarbhava darshanam. Translation. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. Purport by His Grace Srila Prabhupada. Generally, the distressed, the needy, the intelligent and the inquisitive, who have performed some pious activities, worship or begin to worship the Lord. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusory energy. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. Therefore, even though there are so-called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. One who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hoofs of a calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with a place where there is danger in every step. This material world is certified by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita as a dangerous place full of calamities. Less intelligent persons prepare plans to adjust to those calamities without knowing that the nature of this place is itself full of calamities. They have no information of the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without trace of calamity. The duty of the same person therefore, is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization, because that is the mission of human life. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, the so-called calamities are called false. A man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger, and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of dreams. In the same way, all calamities of life are said to be dreams. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional services is always a forward step on the path going back to Godhead.
Hare Krishna. What a beautiful, famous verse, and what a beautiful purpose. You want to say a few words about it, Vaishana Mataji?
Well, there's quite a bit. I can try. This is to do with what you were reading previously about Ma Kunti's prayers, isn't it? Really?
This is Kunti speaking.
Oh, right. It is Kunti speaking, yes. So, yeah, she talks about having pain and calamities happening to them. And that is what she asks for in one of the verses, that may they have a lot of pain. And the reason is, in that case, she will then always remember Lord Krishna. Because when people are happy, they tend to forget the Lord. But in the time of ill health and calamities and everything going wrong in their life, that is the time when people will think of the Lord constantly and pray to him. So constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, that's what she's preparing for. And it says here, constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. And to her, calamities were welcome. So she knew that she will then always be in the shadow of the Lord and have Lord Krishna with them. So this is what she had asked for.
Hari Paul, how beautiful you explained that. That is the main point of that. Very nicely put. Thank you so much. Very nicely put.
Yeah. There was one thing, that sentence, it says this one: the ocean of nescience can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hoofs of a calf. What's that example mean, by hoofs of a calf?
A hole made by hoofs of a calf. When the calf walks in mud, right?
Yeah.
Then there is a hoof print, and if it rains, there is some water in her.
Uh-huh.
That's what it is. But there is a very famous verse. I'm happy you're picking up on that. What is that verse? We have many times spoken about it. It's very important. And Srila Prabhupada, obviously, he is referring to that. Who knows? What is that verse? Samir, Rashmi, Dharm, Vaishana. Someone must know that verse. They have nothing to do with a place where there is danger in every step. The boat of the lotus feet of the Lord. All that. That's all in that verse. Anyone? It would be good to remember that verse. Here it is. Samashritaye bhada palavablavam mahat padam punya yasho murare bhavam buddhir vatsapatam param padam padam na vipatam na tesham. Translation. For those who have accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord. Here we are, the boat. Srila Prabhupada speaks directly about that verse. So for those who have accepted the abode of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is a shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Murari, the enemy of the Mura demon. The ocean of the material world is like the water contained in a calf's hoof print. The goal is Parampadam, Vaikuntha, the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where there is danger at every step. Very, very important verse. And Srila Prabhupada is referring to it again and again and again. So, if for those means the devotees who have accepted the shelter of Krishna, the material ocean, which is vast, there's no end to it, the material ocean, said for those who have taken to Krishna consciousness, that material ocean shrinks to such a small size as the water contained in the hoof print of a calf. Not even a cow, which is bigger, a calf. So that is very easily to step over to Parampadam, the place where there is no material miseries, not the place where there is danger at every step. And we know calamities are bound to come. Without just thinking of COVID. And if it's not COVID, there is something else. Samir.
Just to add to that point as well, what Varshana was talking about is also that Queen Kunti, she was also praying because she was praying for calamities, because also Krishna would always come when there's calamities. So that's the other reason why she was praying for them as well, because Krishna always came to sort out the calamities. So when there was no calamities, then Krishna wouldn't be present. But he always came to sort out the calamities for Queen Kunti. So that's the other reason why she prayed for them as well.
Why he came?
Because of separation from the Lord.
Samir, why he came when there were calamities? Why did he come?
Because she was very dear to him.
She was fully surrendered to him, right?
Yeah, she was fully surrendered and very
completely dependent on him, like Draupadi when she threw her hands into the air. Govinda! She had no other shelter. And we spoke about that in previous verses. When someone has no other shelter, then Krishna steps in. If we have so many other arrangements for our own security, so-called, then Krishna doesn't need to step in. We made our own arrangement, but all our own arrangement will eventually fail. So, if we come to the point where we understand that our arrangements are bound to fail, all of them, then we take fully shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, and then Krishna comes. One more point. Thank you, Samir. Beautiful. That is an easy point. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional services is always a forward step on the path going back to Godhead. So, what are the 9 processes? Sanskrit and translation. Can we get it together? Vaishana, what about?
I'm always saying it. Normally, I can't remember it half the time. Shravanam, Kirtanam.
What is Shravanam? What does Shravanam mean?
Listening.
Hearing, yes. Kirtanam.
Kirtanam, saying the names of the Lord.
Chanting, yes. Shravanam, Kirtanam. What's next?
Is it Das Sevanam?
Vishnu Smaranam.
Vishnu Smaranam.
What's that?
Thinking about the Lord.
Yes, remembering the Lord. If we hear about the Lord, we speak about the Lord, surely we'll remember the Lord in due course of time. Manmana bhavamat bhakto. Yes? What's next? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Swaranam. What's next?
Dasyaneva.
Pada Sevanam.
Padasevanam,
What's Padasevanam?
serving the lotus feet.
Yes. What's next?
And then Nrisimha Pranama.
They don't need,
Archana.
yes, they don't need to be in order, but it's easier to remember them when they're in order. Archanam,
Archanam, that's the Arti.
deity worship, yes.
Deity worship.
What's
Archanam.
next? What's next?
Vandanam.
Yes, what's that?
That's praying.
Yes, what's next? Archanam, Vandanam.
Dasyam.
What's that?
Executing orders.
Dasa.
Serving.
Dasa or dasi, serving, yes. Servant.
Dasyam.
What's next?
Sakyam.
What's Sakyam?
Sakyam is serving as a friend. Sakya.
Yes, Saki.
Saki is friend.
Saka and Saki, yes.
Sakyam, serving as a friend.
And last one? Samir, Vaishana, Rush.
Atman.
Atmanivedanam,
Yeah, what's Atma Nivedanam?
surrendering.
Complete surrender.
Complete, surrendering everything. What's the example of Atma Nivedanam? Who is the example? There are many examples, but who is really an outstanding textbook example?
Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj. Who is Shravanam? Who is the prototype of Shravanam? Hearing.
Hearing is Parikshit Maharaj.
Yes, Shravanam Kirtanam.
Kirtan, Sukhdev Goswami.
Yes, of course. Shravanam Kirtanam. Who is Vishnu Smaranam?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Yes. What's next? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam. Serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Rashmi, what about Padasevanam?
Lakshmi Mata.
Yes. Padasevanam. What about Archanam?
Archana.
Rashmi. Who is a prototype of Archanam?
I would say Prithu Maharaj.
Yes, therefore I said Rashmi because you studied that chapter of Archanam. Archanam, Vandanam.
You asking Rashmi now? Or
Well, anyone. If you know it. Oh, you want me to ask Rashmi?
No.
Okay, Vandanam. Who is the example for Vandanam?
Akrura.
Huh?
Akrura.
I think so, yes. Certainly he is praying Vandanam. Dasyam, that's easy.
That's easy. Hanuman.
Sakyam, that's easy.
Arjuna.
Arjuna, Sakyam. Archanam, Vanam, Sakyam. Adva Nivedanam, we had said Bali Maharaj. Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, let's take one more text. Yes, we can take one more text. Text 26. Who wants to take that? Is it back to you, Samir?
I can take it if you want, yeah.
Okay. You can take it if you want. Text 26.
26. Jannama Swaraya Sruta Sribhe Idhamana Matapuman Mevati Hatya Vihidatam Valpai Tvam Akijana Yocharanam.
You are very lucky because your internet is so bad. It is difficult to say if the Sanskrit was wrong or the internet. Hare Krishna. Akinchana Gocharam, that we hear also many, many times. One who is approached easily by the materially exhausted man. That is Krishna. Krishna is Akinchana Gochara. Translation.
Translation and the perfect by His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada Gita. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Purport. Being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth, and education and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences, and this is known as the advancement of material civilization. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly. O Govinda, O Krishna, it is said in the Sastras that one by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, a sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is the power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exertion in this statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency, but there is a quality to such utterances also. It depends on the quality of feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the same in great material satisfaction, cannot be so sincere. A materially puffed up person may utter the holy name of the Lord occasionally, but he is incapable of uttering the name in quality. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely high parentage, 2 good wealth, 3 high education, 4 attractive beauty, are so to speak disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. The material covering spirit soul is an external feature as much as the body. The general process is to decrease the degree of the fever and not to aggravate it by maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that spiritually advanced persons become materially impoverished. This is no discouragement. On the other hand, such impoverishment is a good sign as much as the falling of temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to more and more illusion about the aim of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite an entrance of God.
Hare Krishna. Can you say a few words?
Yeah, that's such a beautiful verse and purport as well by Srila Prabhupada. It's basically saying initially that people who are materially exhausted, who they can approach the Lord quite easily and with feeling, and from the heart they will call the Lord's name. Whereas if you are materially puffed up, and you have the pride of a good education, maybe bodily beauty, maybe a lot of wealth, then, it can be quite difficult with sincere feeling. But that's not to say that people who have money or have good wealth or whatever don't approach the Lord. But Prabhupada is generalizing there that more than likely when you have all of these things, you may say the name of the Lord, but it's not with feeling. So here, in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that if you call the name of the Lord with feeling, it can get rid of all the sins and also get rid of any sins that you are more sins. You can get rid of more sins than you can actually commit. So it's very powerful. Of course, the Lord's name is very, very powerful, but it must be uttered with feeling. It must be all feeling.
Great, thank you. With sincere feeling. There's nothing wrong about good education and wealth and all of that. Nothing wrong about that. But there's something wrong about the pride. If we are proud of it, if you're not proud, we can. Srila Prabhupada had a lot of wealth. So many temples and so many this and this and that. So it's a pride. But generally, if someone is not fixed in the devotional service of the Lord and he is achieving some opulences, then he will get proud. But an advanced devotee, whatever opulence is coming his way, he will not feel proud. He will use it in the service of the Lord. Yes, very nicely explained, Samir. Thank you very much. Any questions to that text? Beautiful text. Anyone? Sincere feeling, right? That is what is wanted. Feelingly. So that is the quality of our chanting also. Of course, first we get our sadhana together. We fixing the quantity here. And not first, at the same time. There is no question of the quality. Oh, I chant one round, but with quality. That's not the point. We have to increase our chanting. And to the proper standard, coming eventually, increase our chanting. So as if we count our rounds and increasing our chanting. And then, or simultaneously, or then, we working on the quality. The qualities that we can actually have these sincere feelings also. And if we chant the mantra with sincere feelings, then Krishna will reciprocate, no doubt. Any questions or comments, anybody? If not, I would like, for a change, Rashmi, please sing us a Nrisimha Pranama. Clap along or play kartals or play harmonium. Is your harmonium gathering dust, Rashmi?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is gathering dust. Actually, no, it didn't. It's covered.
It's in the box.
On Nrsimha Chaturdashi, Krishna and I did Nrsimha prayer, so the dust was blown off.
Hare Krishna. How is your chanting going?
Chanting is going well, Prabhuji.
How many rounds?
10.
You did it. You did it on the Singha Chaturdasi. You increased to 10. Haribo! Hare Krishna. Isn't that beautiful? 10 rounds. Regularly, every day. Now you 3/4. You're there, 3/4. So now it's time to get the feeling also, and to, in your own pace, you know when to increase to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's not much left. It'll be almost there. Hare Krishna. Okay. Nrisimha Pranama.
Namaste Nrisimhaya Praladaladaine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shrilatankanakalaye Ito Nrishingo Parito Nrishingo Yato yami tato Nrishingo Bahir Nrishinga Ridaye Nrishinga Nrishinga Madim Sharanam Prapade Tavakara Kamalavare Nakama Tutashinga Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Tavakar Kamalavare Nakamadhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai Prahlad Maharaj ki jai
Jai Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Beautiful Nrisimha Pranam. May Lord Nrisimhadev protect us all and protect everybody and protect the people in India and all around the world. We shall not forget Hare Krishna, but we shall also not forget that calamities will come in this material world. We cannot escape it. So what I would like, not now because we are at the end of our session for tonight, I put here a link in the chat of Kunti's prayers. At your own time, if you want, you just can listen to it again. We have listened to it many, many times, and these are exactly these prayers, not word by word, but in slightly different wording, but in the sense, exactly these prayers which are at the moment we are looking at. Kunti's prayers. Hare Krishna. Anyone wants to share something about their realizations recently or what is happening. Have you opened a temple in Africa, Samir? What about, yes, one moment, Samir. Rashmi, we heard your accomplishments of 10 rounds, Vaishnav Mataji, Prasadam distribution, Dharm, I don't know. Samir, what's going on? What are the successes in Tanzania?
Probably. I wanted to ask, the recording of this,
Yes.
where can I listen to it? Because my internet was quite bad and some of it was in and out
Which recording?
for today's class.
Okay, yes, I will try to put that online at YouTube, and I send you a link once it's online.
Oh, okay, brilliant. Yeah, if
Okay.
you send it on WhatsApp, that would be brilliant.
Okay, we'll do that, but the recording will also be not very good because the internet, I think for everyone, has caused quite some problems today. You have been broken in pieces. Rashmi's connection was good, and Dan was good, and Vaishana. Mine was bad. Okay, yes. So, what's happening in Africa? Just very briefly, very, very briefly. Any progress?
No, nothing is happening here. I'm going to the temple every day because it's on the same street as my house.
Yes, I know,
So
but
I'm very
have you been
fortunate.
able to speak, to preach to the temple managers, to not to be so fanatic?
No, I haven't, because these people are quite stern.
Yes,
Like
but
in,
have you tried?
When I
Just
was
try.
in Rwanda, I was. Yeah, I think sometimes you can try and judge people's character by being with them every day, and I think they're very old-fashioned. They do everything in an old-fashioned manner.
Yes,
And,
but I mean, you chip away
they've been
little
doing
by
it-
little. Huh?
They've been doing it for years and years. Still, I don't know. But when I was in Rwanda, I spoke to them straight away because I judged them and I said, because they were bringing in food with onion and garlic, and then they stopped it. They stopped that. But
Good.
I think these people, it would be very difficult to tell them, allow these people in, even if they're eating. I don't know if that was going to go down very well with them.
I mean, there are ways, Samir, there are ways you could just, when you're in a conversation with someone, it's not just running away, but actually there is a conversation going on. You could just speak of, oh, here we in the UK, have you ever been to the UK? Oh, here in the UK we have these Hare Krishna temples. So they're allowing all kind of people there, and these people getting liberated and making progress, and just talking, not asking them to do, just talking about how other temples are doing it. Maybe they get a little bit of an idea. Anyway, that's just an idea. Okay, Vaishana Mataji.
Breaking up again.
Can you hear me? Vaishana Mataji, how is Food for Life? There was, you skipped it recently because, is it?
Come on.
Oh, it's started again.
back.
Oh, he's back. Yes.
Food for Life.
Hello. You're back.
How is Food for Life?
Haribo. We lost you for a while, Gauranga Sundar Prabhu.
Huh?
He's gone again.
No, I'm here. Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yeah, food for love. Oh, you said food for love. I was going to say something. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good. Yes. Oh, I just had a funny thing to say, actually, because the last week and this week, actually, yesterday I was let down badly. I did some prasad for about 20 plates, and the lady was going to come and collect it. She came to ring it up and changing the timing. So there I was cooking away, and practicing until 6 o'clock. At the end, 6 o'clock, she says, "Sorry, I can't make it now."
Oh, that's not very nice, sir. That is actually not very nice, sir. When you're cooking and changing the timing and so not, I cannot make it. You can't do a thing like that.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, I had this boiling food, and luckily Janki Mataji passed by. So I said, let's just do the boxes, and we packed it up. And I said, right, what are we going to do? And I think she's hurt her arm, so she couldn't drive. So I said, look, tell you what, I can't just, throw this all food away. I just, get myself a pair of jeans and T-shirt and put all the food in a trolley bag. And I actually walked to the bus station, took 2 buses and got to the Dawn Center myself.
Hare Krishna, look at that. How dedicated you are.
Yes, so 7 o'clock, I got to the Dawn station, and the lady was very pleasant. So I says to her, oh, can I just use your bathrooms, private bathrooms? And she said, yes. So she opened this locked door for me, and I came out. And after a few minutes, you see, there was a few of the people in there, and there was a lady who'd already started opening the food, and there she was eating. And she says, oh my God, lady, you know what? There I was with my little funny hat and my mask and my scarf and my walking stick, and I looked like one of them as well, I think.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
She turned around and says to me, you've got to have this food. It is absolutely delicious.
Hare Krishna.
It was such a laugh because the gentleman there just started laughing, saying, actually, she's the chef, by the way.
Oh, right. Hare Krishna. Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, my God. How dedicated you are.
Yeah.
Thank
so by
you.
the time I got home, it was 8 in the evening because the buses then slow down, don't they, by night time?
Yes, I do.
They come every hour. So I just got late by 5 minutes and had to sit at the bus stop till 8 in the evening. And by the time I got home, it was about 8:39. And so I was just exhausted today. Absolutely.
I'm sure you would be. Food for Life Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai.
Yeah, so we don't have anybody to deliver, but I thought, well, from now on, I will just cook by myself and go early at about 4 or 5 and just deliver it myself. And
actually, the cooking is very nice when you enjoy the cooking, I know. But as a distribution of the prasadam is ecstatic.
Yes, it is.
Because you get the reciprocation with the people.
Yeah, well, they just leave it on the counter there, but there were a few people around and they were very happy.
Yes, here you go.
This because on a rainy day like we've had lately, she said, I'd only taken 20 plates and I felt a bit ashamed because she said, oh, we actually have about 44 people there.
Right.
So, I mean, I can only carry so much.
Yes. And you can only cook so much. Okay, thank you.
Anyway, let's pray I get a bigger kitchen.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dharm, any something to share on your side? Dharm?
No, just Tulsi Devi, planting.
You what?
We plant Tulsi.
Oh, you planted Tulsi Devi. Hare Krishna, that is some good news. That is beautiful. Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai.
Yeah, I've got maybe half a dozen seeds.
Half a dozen seeds, okay. 6 seeds, huh?
Well, sorry, a dozen seeds. I've got about maybe a dozen or maybe 2 dozen.
2 dozen? What are you going to do with all that? That is 24 Tulsi plants.
So I just planted a couple to see how it goes.
You know that you have, if you have 24 Tulsi plants.
Needs some sunlight.
Yes. You know, if you have 24 Tulsi plants, once they're getting a little bit bigger, you need 24 pots to plant them in.
So I only planted a proportion. Maybe
each Tulsi has to get her own pot.
Yeah.
And it's nice weather at the moment. Take some Take them out in the sunshine. Once they have sprouted, once they're out, little green comes through and take them out. They like the sunshine. And in the evening, you can take them back in.
Yeah, because they need sunlight. So put it directly outside in the garden.
Yeah. And people, as long as they have not germinated, keeps the soil moist. Not wet, moist. Don't let it dry out. If it's drying out even once or twice, they will not germinate.
Yeah.
While they're germinating, while she comes up, she needs moist soil. And once they're pushed through the little seedlings, then the watering process is very important. And chanting, the chanting in front of Tulsi, chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Chant your japa in front of Tulsi. That will be very beneficial. Okay, that was a nice update from your side. Keep us updated how they're coming up and what is the state of Tulsi Devi.
Okay.
Okay, here we stop. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Dharm, Samir, Varshana Mataji, and we'll see you all back on Wednesday. Varshana, you went there. We had apologies from Amity, had some prior engagement. Nalini, her son is going to, what was it, Zambia, and she has to make arrangement, and Ben is sick. So hopefully on Wednesday, we'll see you all back again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
O Krishna, as the river Ganges forever flows to the sea, let my mind, my being, be constantly drawn to thee. O most gentle, O original personality, master of the senses, seated in the hearts of all that be, existing both within and without, seeing all but seen by none. Unto you I offer all my respects. O Krishna, O soul of the universe, beyond the range of our perception, covered by the curtain of misconception, we are bewildered by your movements. Though you work, you are inactive. Though you take birth, you are unborn. And though you descend amongst men, sages, animals, and aquatics, you are the transcendent reality. And although you are unknown, above all that be, you reveal yourself to the surrendered souls who worship you in the core of their hearts. Unto you I offer all my respects. O Krishna, O eternal master and friend, once when you were a small child, your mother Yashoda took a rope to bind you. Your perturbed eyes filled with tears, and though fear personified is afraid of you, at that moment, you were afraid. How can I understand these things? O my Lord, I offer all to you. O Lord, whose glance is as cool as a lotus, who protected us from a great fire, from a poisoned cake, from cannibals, from the vicious assembly of the Kurus, from sufferings and exile, from a fierce battle, from a devastating weapon. You befriended us and stayed with us and guided us through all tribulations. I offer myself and whatever I have unto you. My Lord, your loving kindness and mercy often come clothed in strange guises, enveloped in a shroud of tribulation. Yet our journey through life is made easy by these hardships you provide. O Lord, let us not falsely claim that this world is our home. Let us not ever forget that this place is full of danger. But let the calamities come again and again, that we may remember you and meet with you again and again. For by remembering you, we no longer meet with repeated birth and death. O Krishna, those who always hear your glories, who always repeat your glories, who always see you in all things, and who always take pleasure in your pastimes, certainly find shelter at your lotus feet. My Lord, you can be easily approached, but only by those who are exhausted with sensual pleasure, unimpressed with opulence, unimpressed with fame and wealth, with prestigious birth, with scholarship, only by those who are finished with idle talk, finished with mundane beauty, finished with all forms of religiosity. My Lord, I am not afraid to be abandoned by luck, by good fortune, by friends or relatives. I am not afraid to be handled roughly. I am not afraid to wander the streets homeless like a beggar. I am not afraid to be cast away, condemned, quarantined, or exiled. O most gentle, most holy, most merciful Master, help me, prepare me. Do whatever is necessary to render fit this unworthy soul for entrance into your eternal abode.